my backyard has like a little kitchen in it, and we eat out a lot. And this morning we got together, my daughters and my sons and my friends. There was, about 15, 16 of us? And we had a little prayer meeting. And we talked about how God inhabits the praises of his people. And that he's not, it's got to grieve God's heart when he hears us grumbling all the time and complaining all the time. And I know it just brings him joy to hear his people say, "Thank you, God." Right. What an amazing set of songs, but especially, how do you know God is real? And I'm ready for love that Idia just did. And it was just resonating in my heart that that's what it's all about. Backstage, I was talking with the director of Garfield's band, and he said, Delilah, because I've been on the air here since 1980. So I've seen a lot of Garfield High School students grow up and go on to do amazing things. And he said, I used to listen to you at night, and he says, I can tell you're real. And my daughter laughed, and other people laughed, and said, oh, she's real as a heart attack. And when you hear somebody like Idia sing from the bottom of her soul, right, it's not just about music, it's about her spirit soaring and flying. And there were so many songs, so many words. When she sang the song that Sade had written about the wars and the famine in Africa. The children that I care for are Liberian refugees. They're in Ghana because of a horrible, horrible war that happened in Liberia that took the lives of over 60,000 people. There are people in the camp who are missing limbs, missing eyes, women who lost all of their children in this horrible, it wasn't even a war. It wasn't like two sides fighting. It was one evil man that came in and started massacring thousands of innocent people. And that's why we do the work that we do with the refugees, is to give them hope for a future. And when Idia was singing that song, you could probably hear me over there screaming, "Preach it, sister!" But we are so spoiled in America. I despised my life when I came home for the first time because I would turn the water on and let it run while I brushed my teeth. Do you know every person sitting in this room flushes fresh water down the toilet more in one day? More water in one day is flushed down the toilets in each of your homes than the children I work with in Africa have access to in a year. Think about that. And when I came back, I was so grieved in my spirit. I said, God, what can I do? He said, oh, you shouldn't have asked that. And so since then, we've done some pretty amazing things, and I'm going to talk about some of those things in a moment. But one of the things that we've done in the camp is we've started a fabric making school and a sewing school. And the two groups have united and formed a company called Idia.Arie. And Idia.Arie in the Ghanaian language means accept God. Not Accept God means except for God, nothing else matters. Except that we are doing it for God, nothing else matters. Except that I have God in my heart, I'm not going to make it through the day. And so the sewing school and the fabric school have united, and they made this dress for me on a hand-crank sewing machine with no electricity, through the dark of the night holding candles for each other. And so girls, can my girls stand up? Who are some of my girls? Where's Lisa? Where's Jenna? These are some of my daughters and some of the girls that work with me at the radio station. Joni, my assistant. Debbie forgot hers. Where's Jan? Jan right here. We're all wearing dresses that the women in our sewing school made. They made the fabric and they made the dresses with no electricity, no fresh water. Come on up here. Hands, come on. Come on, Joni, Jan. Where's Jenna and Lisa? Yours is missing. Somebody stole your at this concert, someone stole Lisa's shirt. Anyway, I say this because the women that just graduated from our first sewing class were all disabled women. They all had lost limbs or eyes or had problems, physically disabled, and they were all single mothers. So what we did is we started a school, a feeding program for their children, which freed them up to go to the sewing school, and they made all these clothes. So if any of you are interested in supporting Delilah, we're going to, not this dress, but the dresses and the tops they're wearing, they'll be available for sale if you want to buy them afterwards. Or if you'd like to order one, I can put an order in with the girls in Africa, and they will make it and ship it to you, okay? So, ladies, thank you. Take a bow. All right, I'll be back in just a moment to talk, well, not just a moment, we're going to hear some more great music. How many of you love the song 100 Years? Superman. This gentleman has been a good friend of mine, has been extremely supportive of Point Hope and my radio show. I got to hear him perform live for the first time in New York City, and I just fell in love with him. He is a great guy. He loves his family, his wife and kids, and he is completely and totally behind our military. Do we have any military men and women here? Anybody whose sons or daughters are serving? This gentleman here, I believe, is going to be deployed soon. Yes? Iraq? God bless you. Thank you.